Like, I love you so much, I'm willing to just be the greatest thing that you have seen so that I know that you have seen it. That will be my contribution. How about you get to see it?
Somebody write that down. Write that down. Write it on your hand. Put it in your next thing you're with your family. How about, even if you got to read it slow, I just be the greatest me. You might have to integrate it and memorize. It's gonna take a little time, but that one right there.
Yeah, it's
solid.
really the truth of it. I've seen it happen so many. I've seen it happen with you and your family.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen in my own family. I've seen it happen time and time and time again. That as we shift and change, our world shifts and change, including
Yes.
our DNA. It doesn't mean that everybody does what you're doing, but it does mean that your light dispels darkness where the darkness is in your presence. You stand in a room that's dark and it becomes light. You walk into a place and you bring luminosity. You illuminate the DNA from the inside out. You light up epigenetics. And then epigenetics can light you back up by it continuing the process. Welcome to Call for the Truth. I am LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tarvars of the Sun, and we welcome you here for our conversation today. But before we begin, Tarvars, would you bring us into the Call for Truth?
Most certainly, we encourage you all to join us in calling forth the frequency. Shall we call forth the frequency of truth? Shall we call forth the frequency of truth? Shall we call forth the frequency of truth? Shall we call to see the truth in all that we see? Shall we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we call to speak the truth, calling forth the courage to speak the truth? Shall we call forth nothing less than the truth to come forward into our experience? And we are in the truth.
And it feels good too. It feels really good.
It feels good.
Yes.
So funny enough, our card pull today is truth.
What do you know?
What do you know? Throat chakra.
Yes.
And the maxim reads, it is most important that you begin to trust you. And then the ones waiting for you to save them can trust you too. The book continues on stating, inside the word trust is us.
Yes.
That's a good one. And there's a couple of things that comes to mind, LaOta. So just at face value, seeing that the card is informing us to trust us because it's speaking to, okay, we're dealing with a circumstance where people are not necessarily trusting in themselves. And then the flip side of this is not having or living an experience where the other end, the receiver, is like, believe me, I can do so and so, and like, no, I don't believe you, I don't trust you, because the trust is not strong enough to broadcast. This seems like what the card is saying, and I can see it in a lot of different ways. We've seen it with practitioners and healers, where it's like, I can heal, and it's like, I don't know, like, I don't know, I don't trust this. Something about this looks suspicious, you know, or there's many different other areas. Maybe it's with family and friends, and again, the broadcast of the signal isn't strong enough. So what are your thoughts? Where would you like to take us with this?
I think it's important that we each, if we value truth, that we examine truth and decide, like use ourselves as an example. Ask yourself, am I the truth? I think that might be challenging. It may be an opportunity. It may be an opportunity for expansion. And it might be an opportunity to gain clarity of where your efforts should best be spent. Not so much looking outside. Are they telling me the truth? Are they lying to us? Or are they trying to sell me a product or a car or something and it's not the truth? Well, are you the truth in the experience?
Yeah.
Are you the truth that walks into the experience, and then do you walk out still the truth? Or do you layer on levels of lies and innuendo and all the things that, you're being sold, and then when you leave the dealership, are you the truth?
Dampened, watered down expression of what we once was.
And, you know, how do you maintain the signal? Are you calling for the truth? Are you asking to be the truth? Are you asking to be shown the truth? Are you asking to embody the truth? Are you asking that your experiences will give you truth? This is required. It is like many other things. If we want it, we must pull it towards us through our request for it. The idea of truth is a divine idea, and it is accessible to us because we have the word, but we are not taught that we can be these embodiments of these big concepts like truth if we ask for it. We may need to ask.
I think that's the only way. Because we look around in the world and it's like, no truth out here. You got to call it in. I've done this with, like, for example, divine masculine, divine feminine. Like, where's the signs for the divine masculine? I got to call on it.
Yes.
Like, the book's not telling me enough. I don't have enough male examples, so I got to call on this frequency, this state of being. And I think it's very similar for truth. Especially, we've been fed lies, and we are in that time where even the average person is waking up to, like, ooh, they lying about pretty much everything. Now I gotta look back at the conspiracy theorists, and because they racking up points on the board. So far they're batting 100.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, but but my point is, I agree. It seems like truth is something that just doesn't happen. We have to call and invite it in to offset the overlay of the lie. You said this throughout the years. They lied about everything. They lie about Santa Claus. They've been lying to us since we were little kids.
Yes, it's true. The living in an environment where it is acceptable and people want to, not only is it acceptable, but people want there to be an Easter Bunny. People want there to be, a Halloween jack-o'-lantern being. People want these things, and because of their consolidated wanting, they can make that so, which is really good news for us who don't want it. We can make that so too. We can let the truth actually shine through if we get together and harmonize our thoughts and make our morphic field such that truth is the dominating frequency. That can happen instead of Santa Claus and the Easter bunnies and jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, I can see where this is where it requires us to not drop the signal of truth. Like, whatever your morals are, or like here at Of a Sun, we have tenets like honor, sovereignty of self, others, honor, respect, gratitude, discipline, integrity, action, these types of things. Upholding energy hygiene as a lifestyle, and if we don't, then we drop down, and then that there's a broadcast. There's something that I see that the field or people respond to. People can feel if you're not clear, or if you don't have honor and respect. It's palpable, especially in this day and age. It's almost like the veil's thinning even more, and people are just, even if they're not saying it, like their perception is able to pick up on it.
Yeah, I think our electronics pick up on it too. Not only does it pick up on our most anticipated next thought, the software is such that it picks up on our vulnerabilities for being led down a path that we wouldn't necessarily choose on our own, but that they could help us with. Like, I could help you get to where all the liquor is and all the all the drugs and all the parties. I can help you. I can help you get to that feeling of that you're nothing. I can help you get to, the desire that's out of control. So our electronics have tapped into it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
You know, that I want to touch on it a little bit though.
Yeah, go right
You
ahead.
know, the idea that the technology interfaces with our electromagnetic field, our nervous system.
It does.
There's overwhelming tangible evidence and research that's readily available on the internet of how both sound and light can be used to not only influence and signal to the DNA, but signal to the brain and induce certain responses. And this thing is always doing something, you know. And so I agree. You know, being able to create some distance between ourselves and it, and to strengthen our capacity to choose for self. You know, but we have to, you know, be a little more hip to it and not so. What's the word I'm looking for? Where we not necessarily give the benefit of the doubt, but we downplay what's really happening.
Yes, we're very available to its persistence, but its persistence is not the same as being greater than us.
No, it's a mimicry at best. I got cells. I got trillions of them actually.
Yeah, you got,
You
you know,
know,
the
all
power that
communicating.
has, because it broadcasts 24 hours a day, because you will not take your power to move it away from you, it's not greater than your power to say no to whatever it is. And we see that because you can swipe away, you can turn it off, you can move it. You have the greater power, but because of what happens to the brain and uh, our ability to be addicted, it seems like it has more power. But if you take it away from your children, they won't have it. They will be addicted.
Yeah,
You have the power.
true. Let them cry. They'll be all right. They'll stop. All right, so I'm going to reel it back in a little bit. So again, we're talking about truth. It's most important that you begin to trust you. And then the ones waiting for you to save them can trust you too. So this also shows me that apparently there are people or souls in queue that require an individual's expression, which I know it's using the word save, but what I'm seeing is how when people step into coherence and they're broadcasting their signal, that might look like they're deep in their purpose, doing what they came here to do, living by the divine will. That was needed, or there's maybe another person waiting for that broadcast.
So you're talking about the savior person?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the ones waiting for you to save them can trust you too. Because this is alluding to the idea that, not even alluding, it's literally saying that there are people that are waiting on your expression.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to be more of the truth, because where you at is not enough to get them on board with where
Absolutely.
you're looking to go and be.
Yes, it's like all of us can think about it. Everybody who's listening can think about who you are in your family. You're born a little baby in the family, and you may be the one who's here to save your family. But you don't look like that.
Message.
You
You talk
know,
about you.
Yes, it's like, it's true that many of you are here to save the family who is not interested in the things you're interested in. They are not pursuing the things you're pursuing. They're busy going from paycheck to paycheck and from one event to another that may not be in their best interest. But the reality is whether you look like it or not doesn't mean that that wasn't why you came here and what your intent was. So just because you're in the family unit and you don't know who you are either doesn't mean that you're not the one who will break out of the mode of the hypnotism of humanity and move everyone forward to levels of safety. It doesn't always have to look like Superman, but Superman's good. That's a good look, but it doesn't always have to look like that. It could look like I am thoughtful enough that I bring food and introduce ideas and bring high-level frequencies to everything I do, and they influence my family over time. Now, the opportunity for my family to gain more spiritually is available. It may look like that. And that's what happens with most of us.
Yeah.
Sometimes entire lifetimes go by and we recognize that there may only be one or two who are resonating with that. That's fine, because every soul has its own path. And some people learn how fire burns without being burned, and some people don't. So it's okay. It's like if we would let go of the outcome, we would be happier.
Yeah, I think that's interesting too, because the parts of us that sometimes know that we're here for it, but then the expectation that, or the assumption that they're going to get on board,
Yes.
it leads to the attachment, and then, then we sad because they, it's like, I wanted them to stop eating such and such, and now, they don't want to eat what I eat, and they don't want to do what so now you're diminished, and it's like the truth of your signal. This is kind of like what we were saying earlier. It gets watered down and dampened because it's not coherent enough, and sovereign is what I'm hearing in my mind. Sovereign.
Alex, you're the owner of LaOta Group. How is LaOta Group changing how investors buy and store gold?
Most people think buying gold means walking into a store and hoping you're getting the right price. We've built a LaOta Group to erase that friction and modernize how the world owns gold. At LaOta, we're merging centuries of trust with 21st century technology. Investors can now buy institutional-grade gold, refined, verified, and insured, with the same simplicity as buying a stock. But the real innovation is in custody. Every ounce is vaulted in top-tier facilities, audited independently, and fully allocated, meaning it's yours, not a promise on paper. Whether you're in Dubai, London, or Singapore, you can verify your holdings in real time and even request physical delivery. We've removed the mystery from gold ownership and replaced it with transparency, liquidity, and control. LaOta Group isn't selling gold. We're restoring trust in money itself. Because the future of gold isn't old-fashioned. It's personal, digital, and deliverable.
And you have to not be a dictator. You have to not, they don't have to do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
You have to avoid the pull into being the one who has to tell everybody what to think.
Yeah, it's an interesting trap, because it sounds so righteous when you know better or how to live a better life, but the next thing you know,
But
over here, a little mini Hitler.
It's like these flowers. The best way for a person to appreciate it, how beautiful it is to see it for what it is and let it shine. And in seeing the beauty in it, then more beauty comes into me. So if you eat right and you look beautiful, then who knows? Your family, your friends, your in-laws might choose to be better because you have chosen to be better, and the evidence is so extraordinary that it can't be denied. And that's how you can peacefully get things done.
Yeah, I think that's the way.
Yeah.
I think that's the way. You stay free, you just be great, you just light up, you shine unwaveringly. I'm thinking about the sun. Anytime we speak about these type of experiences, my mind goes to the sun.
Yes.
Shine. It's okay. Give life, give love, be in service. But no one can people could be upset with the sun, but the sun's unbothered.
Yeah.
You can try to throw rocks, but you can't make it. You can throw insults, unfazed, unbothered. But learning to cultivate the really detachment is what I'm talking about, and staying inward and true to self. And again, sun, solar plexus. I think about this truth card is throat, and how we are in the third eye now. And when we were in the throat, there was a lot of attention given to the lower centers, specifically the solar plexus and how it influences the heart and the throat. And I think that's all within the narrative that you were just talking about with family.
Yes, it is.
I love you, but I'm going to force you to do what I want.
I love you so much, I'm willing to just be the greatest thing that you have seen so that I know that you have seen it. That will be my contribution. How about you get to see it?
Somebody write that down. Write that down. Write it on your hand. Put it in your next thing you're with your family. How about, even if you got to read it slow, I just be the greatest me You might have to integrate it and memorize. It's gonna take a little time, but that one right there.
Yeah, it's
solid.
really the truth of it. I've seen it happen so many. I've seen it happen with you and your family.
yeah.
I've seen it happen in my own family. I've seen it happen time and time and time again. That as we shift and change, our world shifts and change, including
Yes.
our DNA. It doesn't mean that everybody does what you're doing, but it does mean that your light dispels darkness where the darkness is in your presence. You stand in a room that's dark and it becomes light. You walk into a place and you bring luminosity. You illuminate the DNA from the inside out. You light up epigenetics. And then epigenetics can light you back up by it continuing the process.
Yeah, it's bringing me back to what the book was saying. In the word trust is us, indicating the connection, the oneness right there. And it's a beautiful thing. And as you were speaking, I'm thinking about souls as we go through this process, having these understandings, but our perception of reality not tuned into the truth of like, yeah, I'm glowing. Or if I just work on me, somehow, some way, I'm informing the non-local DNA.
Yes.
I mean, it's already happening on the adverse. You know, like you know how when we look like, oh my gosh, I'm developing the same habit that my mom had and her mom had, or
Yeah.
her father, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of how a curse works.
Yeah, right? This thing works both ways.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. You're never locked into place. You can swing that pendulum back.
Yes, it's really the thing that seems most important is that we know the material from which we live, that we exist in, is malleable. We can change it. If a person doesn't want to change it, okay, don't. Who out there behind you wants to? You want to? Okay, we're gonna change. We'll change yours. The one who wants it. We'll work with the one who wants it. We're not going to argue and agree with the one who doesn't.
I'm having a thought, and this will probably be one of my last question promptings because we're getting close to the end.
Okay.
But I was thinking about one mind. One mind's coming up a lot, and the understandings of one mind, how the source, when we broadcast and put something out there, everyone's connected to the one mind, but not everybody's a turned on receiver through resonance of what we're broadcasting. So let's say it's a manifestation or whatever. Yeah, let's just use a manifestation, for example, and the receptivity will go to whoever is in resonance. And it
Yes.
might not be the person directly in front of you. It might be
Yes.
somebody, like you say, further down the line who's more receptive. But I see really I'm talking about like the trusting, the process, trusting the oneness, the us and the oneness, and
Yeah.
that you're connected to something greater, and it's okay. The acceptance of like, I'm not going to force them. I'm just going to be the truth of who I am, broadcast and trust that the greater us, somebody's going to pick this up.
Yeah, I'm having a funny thought about how, and this has happened in my family, how I could say such and such and such and such is going to happen, or I see such and such. They're like, no, that can't happen. That's not in accord with what the newspapers say and what's being broadcast, and that's not going to happen, and you're crazy, and that won't work out. And then it comes to pass.
Yeah.
And then there's another, well, I don't think that's what you really said, and then there's more denial, more rejection, more backing out of the room. One of the biggest things for me to learn was it's absolutely okay. I don't need to be concerned about your thought forms being in agreement with my thought forms.
Yeah.
My thought forms are fine. They're fine with the friends they have.
That's a good one.
They're doing well. They're well fed. They're being considered and taken care of, and we're okay. So I think your thought forms should go to where other thought forms like you are.
That is such an elevator way for saying, take yours.
And I'm not going to be intimidated or afraid of what you think. And I see that what I think has no effect on you, so I don't have to tell you that. So we're good. So there's no need for us to commune because it's not a equal exchange. So I
That's
think,
some strong acceptance.
well, it's this idea that it's really the embodiment of there's no force in source.
Yeah.
I am not going to force you to see what you cannot see. I hope that one day you do. I may be incarnated at that time or I may not. You know, but I've done my part. You got the preview. You know, you got the precog view of it. I feel satisfied. Mark one up on the board. I showed another person something they couldn't see now, but that they'll see later. It's all good. So you still have accomplished your mission. You were the light. They saw enough light to reject it. I see something I don't agree with. Aha. You saw something. So that's a win. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I think that's a wonderful way to conclude. It left us on a very empowering note on the flip side of how to function and behave in the face of this, because again, it's not every time that when you are broadcasting the truth, people want to adhere or want your light, essentially.
Yes,
And,
yes.
yeah, and it's okay.
And there's also this idea of
It's,
grow yourself in your stability and clarity and congruency of the light so that you're not sending an incongruent a message that cannot be deciphered.
true, yeah.
So grow your stability, grow your strength in what you're doing. Be the truth with roots. Be the tree of truth, you know, so to say. So are we done
Very
for
true.
today?
Yeah, I think we're done.
We
Pretty
thank you for joining us. That was really good promptings. I think this was a good session. We encourage you to come back and visit us again. We give you the greetings of Inlakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you.